Well, I've got a Suzuki Hayabusa on the ramp today. Um, come in with severe rattling noise coming from the clutch side, so I've had to take the whole clutch out. And the reason is one of the bolts that holds the spring, the clutch spring in, had backed off, which is I think this one here. And obviously that's caused all sorts of damage inside the clutch housing. So it's kind of like I've just got all the bits that have fell out of the clutch housing that are broken here. So I've got a clutch pressure plate, which obviously is no good. We've got one of the clutch plates is snapped. That was the first one that came off. And we've got 4 springs instead of 6. Yeah, 6 springs. And I've got 5 of these dowel pins, which is what the spring rests. It goes in like that, and then the spring goes over the top, and then you've got the bolt on top of that with the washer and the spring. So that's how they normally look. So you've got a bolt, and then you've got this long pin here. So I've got 4 of them, but I'm going to check these to make sure they're actually usable. I might just order some new ones because they're not mega expensive. In the process of just checking for any other damage, I've took the oil pump apart because that's likely to suck up some debris, but there's not a lot of scoring on the surfaces. The aluminium parts will score worse than the steel ones, so they look okay, so I think I'll put that back in. The clutch basket took a lot of damage, so I've lost loads of teeth. You can get away with a couple of these breaking off, but I think there's about half of them missing. There was no damage to the engine crankcase, fortunately, so inside here is completely fine. There's absolutely no damage whatsoever. I've got the clutch case cover as a puncture mark, so that's getting replaced. So the next stage is to take the sump off. I've already dropped the exhaust off, the headers, removed one of the oil return lines, and you can see that is part of one of the springs that's just poking through the sump hole, so it's a good idea to take the sump off and then get any of the rubbish out. And I'm going to check the oil strainer, because that'll probably have loads of bits in it, and I'll clean it all before I put it back together. And we're going to put this back together with some cheap engine oil, a cheap filter, oil filter. We're going to run it for about 20 minutes just to make sure there's no odd noises or anything like that. Once we're happy, we're going to swap out the oil back to the normal normal oil, the good quality oil. To save the customer some money, I'm going to just replace that one clutch plate. You should, in an ideal world, replace the lot, but this is quite expensive, this job, and I don't want to take too much of the cash on fitting a new clutch. So it's not as bad as I thought. I mean, we had a peek in the oil cap when it came in, and there was some, oil and metal shavings, and you could actually see the damage on one of the fingers of the clutch basket. So we had an idea of how bad it was going to be, but obviously it's a lot worse when you take the cover off. So that's my job to do. Probably order some parts. I'm going to get some prices on these new and second hand. Clutch plates are about £10 each, or you can buy the full set, I think is about £90. But all the other plates look completely fine. I'll go through each one individually, just make sure there's no cracks or anything like that, but I think they're all fine, because it was just the outer one who got hit. Yeah, you can see there, he got hit by something and broke. So if you've got a, this is a 2004 Busa, if you've got a Busa, it's a good idea just to take that clutch cover off and put some Loctite on these threads of the bolt. Obviously this is the broken one. I think this is the first one that came out. We have lost 2 bolts, so it's a bit odd that 2 came out at the same time, but I guess with all the bits going around, it's not that surprising, I suppose. But no Loctite or thread lock on that bolt, and doesn't appear to be any on that. Oh look, that's bent, so that'll have to get replaced as well. So yeah, it's basically just a bit of time checking each part, make sure that they're usable, and then ordering a replacement if need be. So I'm going to get the sump off, and then I might show you what's in the bottom of the sump next.